What's up guys, it's James here, and in today's video we're going to talk about the top 3 tips I have for people post-pandemic operating their Airbnbs, whether that's properties they're managing or if you're looking to invest in properties for Airbnb. I want to share with you some tips that'll help you to perform exceptionally well in this new post-pandemic phase that we're in with Airbnb. Now, before jumping into all the content for this video today, I do want to remind you to just hit that subscribe button. I'm looking at my analytics and I can see that the large majority of you guys that are watching this video are not yet subscribed to the channel. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button to check out more so you can stay up to date with the video. And also, if you're new here, just remember that down in the description below this video, there's going to be links to some free trainings. So I highly recommend checking those out so you can get as much value as possible from the channel here. There's going to be one free training that'll help you to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb. So you can actually take the tips that I'm going to give you in this video today and leverage them into growing your own profitable short-term rental management business, managing other people's properties without having to buy, rent, or furnish any properties at all. So check out the description down below to access some of those free trainings. Again, they're completely free. They're not going to be around forever, so just make sure that you check those out. Now, let's get into it and let's talk about my 3 Airbnb tips for post-pandemic performance. Number 1 is to really be mindful of travel trends. So you want to look at, whenever you're looking at different Airbnbs, different opportunities, you want to look at what are the travel trends indicating, what is going to be a big boom. Because we've seen during the pandemic that there were some areas that went boom and others that went bust. Similarly, you're going to see a lot of areas really starting to boom as travel starts to open back up more. So in some areas that is still going to be local getaways, and I'm seeing incredible results myself personally with a local getaway. I'm going to have a video later this month breaking down my entire performance for a cottage property just outside Toronto that I recently purchased. But you'll want to pay attention to that. There are also some countries now that are starting to open back up and accept tourists visiting in. You're starting to see travel pick up a lot in the US from a lot of different countries that are now being allowed in. The US is handling everything with the pandemic a lot differently now than a lot of countries. Things are a lot more open, so we're seeing travel really pick back up. Some of these popular destinations are getting booked completely. Recently I was planning a trip to a specific city and I was looking for properties to accommodate my group of 6 people in that city, and I could find hardly anything. And I was trying to book 3 months out in advance. So there are definitely some areas that are absolutely booming right now. So you want to be really mindful of that. That's my number 1 tip, is watch those travel trends and look for areas that are absolutely exploding, because it will happen and it already is happening. So if you can get in on those areas now, you're going to be able to really ride the wave of this really big boom that is coming and that we're currently experiencing. Now, tip number 2 is to be mindful of the potential risks. So again, post-pandemic, there's a lot of opportunity, but you also just want to be mindful of the potential risks. If we do go into different phases of lockdown, there are different risks associated with that. So you want to be mindful of where you're managing or investing in properties, and just make sure that you fully understand what the potential is for another phase of lockdowns. Here in Canada, we're seeing a lot of potential for another lockdown. The government is definitely locking things down more. In other countries, like for example, Australia, you're seeing that they're just entering into an even more heavy lockdown. And so things aren't looking like they're going to open back up. Other areas in Asia you're seeing are closing down quite a bit. So you just want to be mindful of those potential risks. You don't want to just go for maximum upside. You want to go for maximum upside with minimum downside. So for example, if I'm in Canada, I know that there's not very much international travel allowed, and it's quite likely that even though things look like they're opening up, that it could just end up closing back down again. So do I want to put all my eggs into one basket, where I'm going to be focusing on attracting international guests to my Airbnb listing here in Canada? No, I really want to be focusing on attracting those domestic travelers. That's one of the big reasons why this cottage property has done so well. And now I can actually leverage a really big boom, because there's actually a boom that we're seeing with these cottage properties outside of Toronto, where a lot of people are looking to do a staycation. So that area is booming, and there's very low risk of having a downturn because it's not dependent on international travel and having that potentially get closed down again. So that's tip number 2, is to really focus on the downside, look at the risks, and make sure that you're aware of it going into it. Now, tip number 3, I would highly recommend that you really focus on your pricing strategy and you stay dialed in. My third tip is to really focus on your pricing strategy. Take this time because I'm seeing a lot of people getting overbooked, getting their places booked up months and months and months into the future and leaving tons of money on the table as a result. You got to realize that when we're in a boom, there's a ton of demand and it can often come in waves. So you want to be mindful of that and you want to make sure your prices are set high and you're not leaving a whole bunch of money on the table. Don't be one of those hosts that panics if they aren't booked out 3 months in advance. You don't want to do that. You want to be booked a few weeks to maybe 1 month in advance in order to maximize your revenue. You're going to get last minute bookings that will fill up those slots. So make sure that you're not drastically undercutting your pricing and leaving a whole bunch of money on the table. Overall, right now, we are in an insane opportunity right now for Airbnb, whether that's Airbnb management or investing in properties for Airbnb, which, by the way, if you want to actually invest in properties and purchase properties for short-term rental, then I highly recommend you click the link down below to schedule a quick chat with me where I can talk to you about how we might be able to help you to do that as well. So all that being said, if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you liked this video, I know it was a quick and short one. I just want to give you 3 of my top tips. So hit that like button for me. It really helps me out a lot with YouTube's algorithm. If you just take a quick second and click that like button, and make sure you check out the free trainings linked down below. Again, we are in an absolutely huge opportunity right now with Airbnb and short-term rentals. The industry is absolutely blowing up. And if you want to get in, now is an incredible time to do so. So you'll want to make sure that you jump into the free training right now. Check out how you can earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb, because there has quite literally never been a better time to get started than right now. I highly recommend you check out that training so that you have all the tools and strategies to get started on the right foot and get started right away and take advantage of this opportunity. So I hope you got value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.